What you're about to hear will shock fans across the world. Katt Williams, one of the most fearless comedians in history, has pulled no punches, and this time, Snoop Dogg is in the crosshairs. The words are sharp, the accusations are raw, and the fallout. It's already spreading like wildfire online. Imagine this, a man who's made millions, sold albums, and cultivated a persona of cool charisma and street credibility, being called out on national stages by someone who knows the industry inside and out. Katt Williams isn't just joking, he's exposing what he sees as the truth, accusing Snoop Dogg of trading authenticity for fame, of letting the system control him, and of forgetting the roots that made him a legend. Fans are divided. Some cheer Katt on, saying, "Finally, someone is speaking the truth." Others defend Snoop, insisting Katt is exaggerating. But here's the twist. This isn't just about entertainment gossip. It's about power, influence, and the cost of staying relevant in an industry where loyalty can be rare and fame can be deadly. By the end of this video, you'll hear the full story, the raw clips, the reactions, and the explosive fallout. This isn't a simple roast. It's a full-scale revelation, and it's about to get even messier. The story begins where Hollywood glamour meets the gritty streets of comedy. Katt Williams, renowned for his fearless stand-up and unfiltered commentary, has always been one to speak uncomfortable truths. But in this latest revelation, he takes aim at someone who has walked a very different path. Snoop Dogg. It started with a backstage conversation leaked to social media. Katt didn't hold back. He painted a vivid picture of an artist who, according to him, has traded authenticity for sponsorships, endorsements, and industry favor. He said things that fans had whispered about for years, but never heard spoken aloud. That Snoop's image was carefully curated to appease the system, to stay untouchable, and in doing so, he had lost touch with the streets and his original fan base. Katt's words were deliberate, pointed, and cinematic. "You sold your soul for fame," he shouted, his voice carrying the weight of experience. The internet exploded. Fans immediately began dissecting the implications. Was this an attack on Snoop's character, or a warning to all artists about the cost of compromise? The commentary was ruthless, yet calculated, mixing humor with stark critique. Inside the entertainment world, this revelation sent tremors. Insiders whispered that Katt's comments were not just personal grievances. They were a reflection of a larger truth about the industry. Many artists, when asked off camera, admitted seeing the same dynamic. Loyalty traded for influence, authenticity sacrificed for opportunity. Social media, as expected, became the battlefield. Memes, reaction videos, and heated debates dominated platforms within hours. Some called Katt a hero for speaking truth to power. Others accused him of jealousy or trying to stir drama for clout. But regardless of opinion, no one could ignore the seismic impact of his words. By now, viewers understand this is more than a feud. It's a collision between the raw honesty of comedy and the polished veneer of celebrity. And as the clips circulate, the tension escalates. Fans can't look away. The questions loom. How did it come to this? Was Snoop aware? And what will happen next? Katt's confrontation is a reminder that in entertainment, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. Every decision, every endorsement, every choice to stay in the limelight has consequences. And when someone like Katt Williams pulls back the curtain, the truth can be both exhilarating and devastating. The world waits, holding its breath. What Katt reveals next could redefine how fans see one of the most iconic figures in music history. And just as you think the story might settle, it takes another shocking turn. The fallout from Katt Williams' comments hit like a lightning strike. Within hours, YouTube clips, TikTok reactions, and Twitter threads were exploding. Fans dissected every word, every inflection, every smirk. "Didn't I warn y'all?" One viral caption read. And that was just the beginning. Katt's allegations weren't vague. They were surgical. He described how the industry molds its stars, how contracts and endorsements can pressure even legends to compromise, and how fame can subtly strip away the very essence that made someone extraordinary. According to Katt, Snoop had become a cautionary tale, a symbol of success, yes, but also of what happens when authenticity is sacrificed on the altar of celebrity. Reaction videos poured in. Some fans applauded Katt's courage. Finally, someone is telling the truth about how the game really works, one fan commented. Others were shocked, defensive, and outraged. How could Katt Williams say this about Snoop Dogg? How could he accuse one of hip-hop's icons of selling his soul? Arguments spilled into forums, Reddit threads, and even Instagram lives. The internet became a modern-day coliseum. And the gladiators were words. Meanwhile, insiders in Hollywood whispered. Some claimed Katt had personal experience, a front row seat to the transformation of celebrities as they rose in fame and dipped into compromise. He's not lying, one anonymous source said. Katt has seen it all. Snoop's story is just the most public example. Others insisted Katt was exaggerating, suggesting the comments were designed to go viral, to provoke engagement, and to remind the world why Katt remains one of the sharpest, most fearless voices in entertainment. Amid the chaos, Snoop Dogg remained quiet, a fact that only amplified the drama. Fans speculated endlessly. Was he taking the high road, ignoring Katt's words? Or was he preparing a calculated response that would land like a bomb? Every silence, every pause became a story in itself. Every social media post from Snoop's accounts was dissected for hidden meaning. Some claimed subtle digs, others shrugged it off as coincidence. The tension was cinematic. You could almost feel it building in the air. But the story wasn't just about celebrities. Katt's words resonated with everyday people too. Viewers began sharing personal stories online, moments when they felt pressure to compromise, to act inauthentically, to trade values for opportunity. Suddenly, this wasn't just a feud between two icons. It became a mirror reflecting society itself. Fans debated fiercely. Do you stay true to yourself or do you bend to survive? How much are you willing to lose for success? Katt also doubled down, appearing in exclusive interviews and podcast appearances. His energy was relentless, his conviction unmistakable. He spoke of the entertainment industry as a machine, calculated, seductive, and often unforgiving. They want you to be a product, not a person, he warned. And the way he delivered it, blending humor, anger, and painful honesty, made listeners feel as though the truth had been hidden from them for decades. This part of the saga also revealed cracks in the perception of celebrity culture. Snoop Dogg's brand, carefully curated over decades, suddenly looked more like armor than art. Katt's criticism wasn't just a personal attack, it was a commentary on fame itself, on how people can become trapped in a system that rewards image over integrity. Fans began questioning every endorsement, every partnership, every public appearance. Could authenticity survive in a world dominated by contracts and corporate influence? The tension escalated further when social media polls asked fans directly who was right, who was lying, who was speaking the truth. Votes poured in, each with heated commentary. Some fans even went further, tracing past interviews, social media posts, and songs from both Katt and Snoop, looking for patterns, clues, and proof. Conspiracy theories flourished. Was this feud orchestrated for publicity? Was there a deeper hidden reason for the timing of Katt's accusations? Every angle was explored, and yet Katt's message remained clear and unyielding. This was about more than celebrity drama. It was a wake-up call about the cost of fame, the price of compromise, and the consequences of losing oneself in the pursuit of wealth and recognition. The stakes were higher than entertainment. The stakes were about integrity, loyalty, and identity. Viewers were left with questions that burned in their minds. How far can fame push someone before they lose themselves? What will Snoop's response be, if any? And more importantly, what does this feud reveal about the world of entertainment at large? Suspense hung in the air like a storm about to break. And the story was far from over. As the days passed, the tension didn't ease. it multiplied. Katt Williams' comments had unleashed a ripple effect that no one could contain. Clips of his tirade went viral on every platform imaginable. TikTok dances, reaction videos, Instagram stories, the world was dissecting every syllable. Fans debated endlessly. Was Katt telling the brutal truth, or was this a calculated performance? The feud had become bigger than two stars. It had become a cultural spectacle. Behind the scenes, whispers of industry maneuvering surfaced. Insiders suggested that executives were scrambling, trying to manage the narrative. "They hate this," one source said. A respected comedian calling out a legacy rapper. "That shakes up contracts, brand deals, even investor confidence." According to reports, sponsorships were being quietly reviewed. Marketing campaigns recalibrated, and publicists were working overtime. Fame, it seemed, had consequences that went far beyond the cameras. Meanwhile, Snoop Dogg's silence was deafening. Fans combed through every post, every subtle gesture, searching for clues. Was he ignoring Katt out of respect? Or was he strategically calculating his response for maximum impact? Analysts argued over his intent. Some claimed Snoop was preserving his legacy, refusing to dignify Katt's accusations with a public feud. Others suspected this quiet was a tactical move, a prelude to a massive comeback statement. Social media users were split. Speculation became obsession. And every minor detail of Snoop's life online was scrutinized for hidden meaning. Katt, sensing the storm he had created, didn't back down. Interviews, podcasts, and even surprise social media live streams became his platforms for exposing what he saw as the truth. His energy was relentless, a mix of humor, outrage, and righteous indignation. He described the entertainment world as a labyrinth of compromise. It's a place where artists are praised publicly, but pressured privately to conform. To play the game at the expense of authenticity. They want you to smile while they manipulate you, Katt said, to give the illusion of freedom while holding the strings. But the story wasn't just celebrity gossip. It had real human resonance. Fans began sharing their own experiences online, paralleling Katt's observations. Stories of workplace exploitation, compromise, and the silent costs of ambition flooded comment sections. Suddenly, the feud between Katt and Snoop wasn't just about music or comedy. It was a reflection of the larger human struggle, the conflict between integrity and survival. Truth and compromise. The media frenzy escalated further when snippets of old interviews resurfaced. Fans dug up moments where Snoop praised the industry, moments where he appeared to prioritize commercial success over artistic expression. Contrasting those clips with Katt's current commentary painted a stark narrative. Success comes at a cost, and that cost may be one's soul. Headlines spun wildly. Katt calls out Snoop's fame compromise. The truth about celebrity authenticity. Is Snoop Dogg a puppet? The story was everywhere, dominating feeds and trending worldwide amid all this. The feud began affecting reputations, alliances, and even collaborations. Other artists once tight with Snoop were asked about the comments. Some dodged questions. Others cautiously agreed that the entertainment world was often a high-stakes game of compromise. Katt's words, blunt and unapologetic, resonated with those who had felt silenced for years. It wasn't just comedy or hip-hop anymore. It was a mirror reflecting power, influence, and the personal sacrifices hidden behind public glamour. Katt's charisma made the criticism magnetic. Each appearance added layers to the narrative. This isn't about personal beef, he explained during a live stream. It's about understanding the system. People think fame is freedom. It's not. It's control, contracts, and compromise disguised as opportunity. His audience hung on every word. They laughed, they gasped, they debated, captivated by a narrative that felt larger than life progressed. The stakes continued to rise. Katt revealed subtle connections between celebrity endorsements and industry pressures. He hinted at moments where Snoop and other legends may have faced moral dilemmas, balancing financial gain with authenticity. Fans speculated endlessly which deals were compromised, which decisions were coerced. Which choices shaped the careers and legacies of icons? The tension between truth and illusion became almost unbearable, a psychological thriller unfolding in real time. Across social media, the impact on fans was electric. Hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag Katt vs Snoop. Hashtag Celebrity Truth. Hashtag Sold Soul. Memes flooded timelines. Reactions varied: shock, anger, admiration, disbelief. The feud had transcended entertainment. It had become a societal mirror, highlighting the cost of fame, the fragility of trust, and the invisible pressures faced by those in the spotlight. Every comment, every video, every clip amplified the narrative. This was bigger than one argument. It was a cultural reckoning. And just when it seemed the story might plateau, a new twist emerged. Leaked audio, allegedly from a private conversation, hinted at further industry secrets, complicating the narrative even more. Fans and insiders speculated feverishly. Was this the smoking gun? Would Snoop respond directly? Or was Katt exposed about to spark a cascade of revelations that would rock the entertainment world? The tension reached fever pitch. By the end of part 3, viewers were left on the edge of their seats. Questions burned hotter than ever. What will Snoop do next? Will Katt uncover more truths? And ultimately, what does this feud reveal about the invisible pressures and compromises behind the glamorous world of fame? The stage was set for an epic climax, a final showdown of revelation, consequence, and cultural reckoning. Suspense hung thick in the air. The feud wasn't just a story, it was a living, breathing saga. And the next chapter promised to be explosive. The storm that Katt Williams unleashed now began to take a tangible toll. Industry insiders whispered about canceled meetings, paused collaborations, and sudden withdrawals of sponsorships. Every brand, every label, every management team felt the tremors of this feud. In private, executives fretted. Publicly, they feigned neutrality. But behind the closed doors of studios and boardrooms, the conversation was tense. How could they navigate a world where a comedian's words could challenge the legacy of a rap icon? Meanwhile, Snoop Dogg's camp remained eerily quiet. His silence, calculated or cautious, only fueled speculation. Fans dissected every post, every video, every subtle nuance. Was it guilt? Strategy? Defiance? The internet became a hunting ground for clues, and conspiracy theories spiraled out of control. Some argued Snoop was preparing a masterful counterattack. Others suggested he was attempting to outlast Katt's fury. The uncertainty amplified the drama. The world was watching a slow-burning spectacle unfold in real time. Katt, sensing the shifting tides, intensified his crusade. Podcasts, live streams, interviews, he appeared everywhere, unrelenting. Each appearance layered new allegations, new insights, and new revelations about the entertainment industry's hidden machinery. He didn't shy away from naming names, revealing patterns of compromise, subtle manipulations, and moral trade-offs behind the facade of fame. This isn't personal anymore, Katt warned. This is systemic. And if you think you're immune, think again. Audiences responded explosively. Millions tuned in across platforms, and the engagement was unprecedented. Comment sections overflowed with outrage, awe, and fear. Social media analysts noted the viral reach, engagement rates unmatched by standard celebrity content. Katt's words weren't just entertainment, they were conversation starters. Catalysts for debate and sparks for reflection on what fame really costs. But it wasn't all virtual spectacle. The feud spilled into real-life consequences. Fans organized protests outside studios, demanding accountability and transparency. Street murals, graffiti, and viral hashtags appeared overnight, each echoing Katt's criticisms. Some artists quietly reached out to Katt, offering support or confirming insights, while others distanced themselves, wary of public association. It was a polarizing moment. Alliances shifted, loyalties were questioned, and reputations hung by a thread. Even mainstream media couldn't ignore it. Headlines splashed across news sites. Katt Williams calls out Snoop Dogg, the industry exposed. Fame versus integrity. What Katt Williams reveals about celebrity culture, will Snoop respond? Traditional outlets struggled to balance reporting with a viral frenzy, often amplifying the narrative unintentionally. Every soundbite, every clip, every quote fueled further speculation, making the feud feel larger, more consequential than ever before. Amid this chaos, Katt introduced a new angle: the personal cost of fame. He recounted stories of artists who sacrificed mental health, family, and authenticity to survive in an industry obsessed with image and profitability. He emphasized that while millions admired Snoop's public persona, the hidden struggles behind that persona were often overlooked. Fans were moved, some outraged, some reflective. The narrative had evolved. It wasn't just about one confrontation anymore. It was about exposing the machinery that shaped the world of celebrity itself. In response, Snoop's allies quietly circulated statements defending his integrity, portraying him as a survivor of the industry rather than a victim of compromise. The tension grew even more acute. Every comment, every viral clip, every defensive remark was analyzed for subtext. Audiences debated endlessly. Was Snoop being unfairly criticized, or was Katt uncovering uncomfortable truths? The gray area of public perception and private reality blurred, intensifying the drama. Then came the twist that would redefine the saga. Leaked footage seemingly from private conversations suggested deeper layers of manipulation, marketing pressure, and backstage influence. Katt hinted at this publicly, refusing to reveal all details, but promising the world would soon understand the depth of the problem. Fans were on edge, hungry for answers, speculating feverishly. The anticipation reached fever pitch. This wasn't merely a feud. It was an unfolding expose, and everyone wanted front row access. The drama intensified further when Katt started connecting dots across the entertainment ecosystem. Endorsements, product launches, media appearances each became a piece of a larger puzzle of compromise and control. The stakes were no longer personal. They were systemic. Fans realized the feud was more than celebrity gossip. It was a commentary on power, influence, and survival in an industry built on illusion. The world was waiting for the climax. Would Snoop finally respond? Would Katt reveal the final pieces of his expose? The tension was palpable. Collapse, betrayal, exposure, and revelation were all on the horizon. And one undeniable truth remained: the story was far from over. The world held its breath. Social media feeds were ablaze. Every celebrity gossip channel, every viral account, every discussion forum felt the aftershocks of Katt Williams' relentless pursuit. And then the tipping point arrived, the moment that would define the feud and leave fans gasping. Katt announced a live reveal: "Everything I've been saying. You're about to see why it matters. This isn't just about me or Snoop. It's about truth." The live stream began. Millions tuned in instantly, the numbers climbing in real time. Katt, animated, fiery, and unflinching, laid out the final pieces of his expose. Behind the flashy shows, the music videos, the awards, and the fame, he painted a picture of a machine, a world where artists were guided, pressured, and sometimes forced into choices that compromised their integrity. He showed clips, documents, and insider testimonials, weaving a narrative of power, persuasion, and performance. Every revelation struck harder than the last. Snoop Dogg, for the first time in weeks, broke his silence, not with words, but with action. He released a statement, measured and deliberate, acknowledging the pressures of the industry while defending his choices. "I've lived my life in the spotlight," he said. "And yes, there have been compromises, mistakes, and lessons learned. But my art, my family, and my community, that's where my truth lies." The statement didn't diffuse the fire. It escalated it. Fans dissected every word, every tone, every pause. Some felt vindicated, some betrayed, some inspired. The divide had never been sharper. Yet Katt was unrelenting. He challenged not just Snoop, but the entire system, calling out labels, management, and corporate forces that thrived on public illusion. He asked piercing questions. When does fame stop being your story and start being their story? When do we sacrifice truth for applause? How many more will pay this price? The words resonated, cutting through the glitz of Hollywood and music, reaching ordinary people grappling with similar compromises in their own lives. The stakes escalated further when leaked recordings surfaced, showing candid behind-the-scenes discussions between executives and artists, including Snoop. The world saw the subtle pressures the deals offered, the calculated decisions made for marketability over morality. It was undeniable evidence, proof that fame wasn't always freedom, that sometimes it was a gilded cage. The public reaction was instantaneous. Outrage, fascination, admiration, and fear collided in a digital storm that spanned continents. Katt seized the moment, addressing the crowd directly. This isn't revenge. It's accountability. It's clarity. And it's about every single person watching who's been told, this is the way it has to be. No, you deserve to know the truth. His words echoed across platforms, shared millions of times, and sparked heated debates about integrity, influence, and survival. The narrative was no longer about a single feud. It was about the very nature of celebrity culture and the costs of compromise. But the climax wasn't only digital. Celebrities and insiders began weighing in publicly, some corroborating Katt's claims, others defending Snoop, and yet others choosing strategic silence. The world watched as alliances shifted overnight, reputations hung by threads, and careers teetered on the edge. Every response, every omission, every viral clip fed into the maelstrom, amplifying the drama. Katt, sensing the height of the moment, delivered his final verdict to the audience. The curtain is lifted. The game is exposed. The choice is yours. Do you follow the truth or keep applauding the illusion? The question reverberated like a thunderclap. Millions paused, reflecting, debating, and sharing. It wasn't just entertainment, it was a reckoning. In the final hours of the saga, one truth became undeniable. The feud between Katt Williams and Snoop Dogg had transcended celebrity gossip. It had become a cultural phenomenon, a mirror reflecting power, compromise, and the fragility of public perception. Fans would argue, analysts would debate, and history would remember the moment when a comedian dared to challenge an icon and, in doing so, expose the hidden world of fame for everyone to see. And as the live stream ended, the cliffhanger remained. Would Snoop respond further? Would the industry reform? Would the public ever see behind the curtain again? Collapse, betrayal, exposure, change. The stage was set, the players revealed. And the story, far from over, had rewritten the rules of celebrity. Accountability. The world had witnessed something unprecedented, something viral, and something that would be talked about for years to come. And through it all, one fact remained. Katt Williams had sparked a reckoning. And Snoop Dogg's silence, actions, and decisions would be scrutinized forevermore. The drama had peaked, but the echo would resonate endlessly.